When you think of the United Kingdom, you may think of all the great tourist attractions, the friendly British hospitality, and the sights of capital London. You may also think of the countryside, cups of tea, and downtown Abbey. But the UK is also a terrifying place with a long history of hauntings, mystery, and witchcraft. It's home to some of the most haunted places in the world, from haunted castles to haunted forests, to creepy old haunted theaters, to haunted houses you wouldn't dare spend the night in. Here, we list 5 of the most haunted places in the UK for you to choose if you would be brave enough to visit these wickedly spooky destinations.
Number 5, Pendle Hill, Lancashire.
Pendle Hill is said to be one of the most haunted places in the UK, and it's not hard to see why, with this eerie location being shrouded in terrifying history. Pendle Hill, situated in Lancashire, is known for its infamous witch trials all the way back in 1612. The tale of the Pendle Witches is a great example of well-documented allegations of witchcraft throughout the centuries. It's said 12 people were accused of being witches, with all of them living in the surrounding area. They were charged with the murders of over 10 people by the use of witchcraft, with the majority being found guilty and being executed by hanging. The Pendle Witches lived in an area which was regarded by authorities as a lawless region high in violence, thieving, and low morals. It's said the spirits of these witches still linger and haunt these hills today. It's documented that an array of strange activity happens on these hills, with many locals still refusing to go on the hills after dark due to the sinister sightings of ghosts and spirits being seen and felt. It's believed the spirits of the witches haunt these hills out of anger and look for revenge from their unjustly accusations and deaths. Many people who have ventured the hills have reported to have seen dark figures wandering the hills and the wailing sounds of what is assumed to be the spirits, with some instances of people stating they've been attacked. It's a place full of supernatural activity where you can actually book an overnight ghost hunt to experience these terrifying events for yourself. But would you be brave enough?
Number 4, Barry Pomeroy Castle, Devon.
Built all the way back in 1547 and still standing today, this Tudor-era castle is said to be one of the most haunted castles in the UK. Barry Pomeroy Castle, located in Devon, has become something of a spooky attraction for visitors far and wide. The castle, left in ruins with much history, is said to be the home of 2 female spirits, the Lady in White and the Blue Lady. The Lady in White is said to be the spirit of a woman named Margaret, who it's claimed haunts the dungeons, having been imprisoned there by her sister Eleanor, who was jealous of her beauty, having her locked away in the dungeons until her death. While the Lady in Blue is said to beckon for help from passers-by, luring them to her tower. According to local legend, her tragic story is that she was the daughter of a lord who wanders the castle mourning the loss of her baby. They say it's not wise to follow the Lady in Blue to her tower, as this malevolent spirit will make anyone foolish enough to do so fall to their death from her very tower. Many people visiting the castle have reported to see sightings of these 2 ghostly figures, but they are not the only spirits wandering the ruins of the castle. Sightings and the sounds of horses have been reported, which is believed to be the spirits of 2 brothers who rode their horses and leapt to their deaths from the top of the castle. Witnesses have reported hearing the loud gallop of horses throughout the grounds, with nothing at all in sight. The castle has been featured on many TV shows, including Most Haunted UK, and the mysteries behind the castle's wandering spirits still remain.
Number 3, 30 East Drive, West Yorkshire.
A house that needs no introduction. A house that is known throughout the world for its terrifying, malevolent poltergeist. 30 East Drive, West Yorkshire, is one of the most haunted houses in the UK. From the outside, this house looks like any other home you'd see in the area. A regular, semi-detached house. But don't let appearances fool you, as a sinister presence lies within. This house is home of an entity that's become known around the country as Fred, or the Black Monk. And this entity is said to be the most violent poltergeist in Europe. It's been preying on its unfortunate guests for over 50 years. This house has seen it all. Strange happenings began all the way back in 1966, where the Pritchard family moved in, only to be met over the coming days with creepy activity, from cupboards shaking, teapots turning on by themselves, and lights flickering on and off, things that can in some ways be explained. Unlike these sinister happenings, like when photos began to get slashed with what seemed like invisible objects, and one of the family members was strangled and dragged by their hair up the stairs by an unknown force and left traumatized, complete with a hand mark around their neck. The entity gained its nickname the Black Monk when apparitions of a dark figure dressed in black robes would be seen around the house. And it was reported that a Cluniac monk was once hanged across the street for committing horrendous crimes on a young girl. His body was then disposed down a well that now, in fact, sits under the lounge of 30 East Drive. With tenants never hanging around too long, this house has had multiple exorcisms done on it, with what seems to be no success. It's now owned by a producer who states himself that you couldn't pay him to stay in that house. With a movie and a book based on this property, it's not shy of curious guests. The house is now open to visitors and ghost hunts, but the owners don't recommend staying the night and will even try and convince you not to, with it even having a waiver in place, confirming that you're staying at your own risk. Would you be brave enough to step into this harrowing haunted house of East Drive?
Number 2, Theatre Royale, London.
At this location, you may get more than the show you paid for, as the long-haunted Theatre Royale in London is said to be the most haunted theatre in the UK, a hotbed for paranormal activity and the home of the fearsome Man in Grey, with the Theatre Royale being the oldest working theatre in London. Ghosts have long plagued this haunted location, with it dating all the way back to 1663. Standing in the theater alone, many people say you may seem alone, but you most definitely don't feel alone. You can feel a presence around you, and it's not shy of letting you know, with strange sounds occurring and even the feeling of something touching you. Actors have often shared their spooky experiences from working in the theater. It's reported that many phantoms roam around the wings of the theater. The spirits that wander are said to be the spirits of deceased performers that once took the stage to entertain people. The tales get creepier with what's been cited as a disembodied white face that's been known to frighten the life out of guests, to a creepy sighting of a spirit dressed as a clown, who it's reported leaves an odor behind. So not only can you feel their presence, but you can smell it too. And let us not forget the theater's most famous ghost, the spirit they call the Man in Grey, whose apparition has been seen in a powdered wig, a gray riding cloak, and a three-cornered hat. The ghost is said to appear mostly in daylight and can be seen wandering in the upper circles, with workers claiming to have seen him disappear into the walls. His story is a mystery as to who he may be, but people say it's not all bad, as they consider his presence good luck for upcoming shows, and a history of shows being great draws at the box office after sightings of the Man in Grey have been reported. Take a trip to the historic creepy theater. You never know who or what you might see.
Number 1, Blickling Hall, Norwich.
Now to a haunted location rich with royal history, a place known to be the home of one of the most famous ghosts you hear whispers about. Blickling Hall, once home to Anne Boleyn, ex-wife of Henry VIII, whom he had executed by beheading. It's been reported the ghost of Anne Boleyn still haunts these walls today. Strange sightings have been seen across the grounds, and a figure of a headless woman dressed all in white, carrying her own head, have been reported on numerous occasions throughout the years. This royal headless apparition is supposedly not the only ghost to haunt this great mansion. Her father, Sir Thomas Boylanus, is said to be another spirit that haunts these grounds through punishment for letting his daughter be beheaded. He too was executed shortly after his daughter. Then, Finally, the mysterious Gray Lady. She's been reported to wander through the mansion at night as she floats through the walls and vanishes before sunrise. It's reported that when she's close, the temperature suddenly drops. This creepy estate is full of spooky activity, a lot of which centers around a certain date, May 19th, which happens to be the anniversary of Anne Boleyn's death. This is one haunted location that must be seen to be believed. Now you know 5 of the most haunted places in the UK, but there are many more creepy and terrifying places out there, not only in the UK, but throughout the world. But for now, from these haunted walls, decide if you would be brave enough to visit any of these places. And remember, those noises we sometimes hear at night might not just be that random noise you think. We may not be alone. If you liked this video of haunted places and want to see more just like it, let us know down in the comments. What haunted subjects would you like to hear next? And please, if you haven't already, join the Horror Motives community and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so we can bring you more scary stories and haunted places. Until next time, remember, fear lies within.